Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of NASCAR Underdogs. Joe Milliken. Joe Milliken is a former NASCAR Cup Series driver who competed from 1974 through 1986. He drove for 9 different teams throughout his career. Milliken's racing career started in 1974, driving a Petty kit car, a Dodge Dart number 04, in the late model Sportsman series. His best start was first twice, both coming in the spring of 1978 at Daytona and Talladega. His best finish was first twice, coming in the spring at Daytona in 1976, then in the spring in 1978 at Talladega. Joe made 15 late model Sportsman Series starts for Petty Enterprises. At one point, Milliken was said to be Richard Petty's protege. Now, overall in 15 starts, he scored 2 poles, 2 wins, 7 top 5s, and 12 top 10s. He ran a variety of makes, a Dodge Sprint, a Dodge Charger, and a Dodge Dart. In 1979, he got the call to make the jump to the NASCAR Cup Series, and he took it. This video covers Milliken's NASCAR career year by year. Joe made his NASCAR Cup Series debut driving a number 67 Dodge for Buddy Arrington at Rockingham, starting 29th and finishing 17th. For the following 4 years, Milliken did not make a single start in any NASCAR races. Then in 1979, after Benny Parsons left the L.G. DeWitt team, Joe took over the number 72 Appliance Wheels Chevrolet full-time. Tex Powell served as the crew chief. This was his rookie season, but he ended up finishing second in rookie standings to Dale Earnhardt. Milliken had a very strong season, though. His best start was first in the spring at Nashville Fairgrounds, and his best finish was second in the spring at Rockingham. Overall, he scored 1 pole, 0 wins, 5 top 5s, and 20 top 10s, on his way to finishing 6th in final points. Now, the 1980 season started off pretty solid for Milliken. L.G. DeWitt Racing only ended up running the first 9 races of the season. DeWitt stated that the lack of consistent sponsorship, along with the skyrocketing prices it costed to be in NASCAR, was the reasons why he, had to shut down his team. In those first 9 races, though, Joe's best start was second in the spring at Rockingham. Of course, the team typically ran decent at Rockingham due to the fact that DeWitt owned the track. His best finish was 4th in the spring at Riverside. Overall, in that number 72, he scored 2 top 5s and 5 top 10s in only 9 starts. Near the end of the 1980 season, Joe was able to make 3 starts for Ray Mach Enterprises in their number 75 Chevrolet. His best start was 9th in the fall at Rockingham, and his best finish was 7th in the fall at Ontario. 1981 was more of the same, really, but this time he made the majority of the races in the season. He ran the first 12 starts behind the wheel of the number 75 Ray Mach Enterprises Buick. His best start was 2nd in the summer at Michigan, and his best finish was 7th in the spring at Rockingham. Overall, in the number 75, he scored 5 top 10s. Then, starting at race 21 in Michigan, Joe began driving the number 5 Performance Connection Pontiac Grand Prix, owned by Cliff Stewart. He made 11 starts for the team. His best start was 6th in the fall at Martinsville, and his best finish was 3rd in the fall at North Wilkesboro. Overall, in the number 5, he scored 3 top 5s and 5 top 10s. Even with missing 9 races throughout the season, Milliken still finished 21st in final points. Now that following season, in 1982, rides continued to dry up for Milliken. He started the season running the first 6 races for the number 50 Performance Connection Pontiac Grand Prix, owned by Cliff Stewart. His best start was 5th twice in the spring at Richmond and Rockingham. His best finish was 6th twice in the spring at Richmond and Rockingham as well. Now, he did make one more start late in the season at Rockingham, driving the number 41 Oldsmobile Cutlass for Billy Matthews, starting 32nd and finishing 26th. For 1983, Milliken only made one NASCAR Cup Series start in the spring at North Wilkesboro. He was driving for Wayne Bear in the number 35 Hanover Penny Ford Thunderbird. He started 22nd and finished 18th. He did attempt the season opener at Daytona, driving a number 18 for Leon Satterfield, but DNQ'd for the race. For the 1984 season, in the NASCAR Cup Series, Joe Milliken did not make a single attempt until race 28 at Rockingham, driving for the number 64 Sonny King Ford and Honda Ford Thunderbird for Elmo Langley. He started 35th and finished, honestly, a respectable 17th. He did attempt, but DNQ'd for the following week's race in Atlanta, driving a number 35 Ford Thunderbird for Wayne Baird. Though he did qualify for the next week's race at Riverside, driving a number 1 Piedmont Airlines Chevrolet for Billy Hagan. He started 28th and finished 38th. After a blown engine took them out of the race. Now, Milliken did not make a single attempt in NASCAR in 1985. Now, then, in 1986, Milliken made what would end up being his final 2 starts in the NASCAR Cup Series. Near the end of the 1986 Cup Series season, Milliken made his final 2 starts driving a number 37 Ford Thunderbird owned by Wayne Bear. His best start was 27th, and his best finish was 30th, both coming at North Wilkesboro in the fall. Now, in 1987, he did attempt the spring Darlington race, but he DNQ'd. Now, Milliken's final career NASCAR starts came in the then Busch Series, now Xfinity Series. Now, Milliken made 7 starts for Howard Thomas in the 00 Thomas Brothers Country Hams Oldsmobile. His best start was 16th in the fall at Martinsville, and his best finish came a few races earlier in the fall at Martinsville as well, 8th. Now, overall, in 5 starts, he did only score 1 top 10 finish, but I mean, he was pretty strong throughout. This was the final time that Joe Milliken would make a start of any kind in NASCAR. And honestly, you gotta think, overall, in 79 starts, Joe Milliken honestly didn't have that bad of a career. I mean, he would have won Rookie of the Year had it not been, in 1979, had it not been for Dale Earnhardt. I mean, come on. He was a future legend, and, I mean, there's no surprise that Milliken was beat out by Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt would beat out anybody, in my opinion. He just kind of ended up getting on into teams where, okay, like, for instance, the LG DeWitt team. Earlier in the 70s, in the mid-70s, they were a winning team. They even won the championship in 73 with Benny Parsons. But he got with them right kind of near the end of their, of their run, so to speak. I mean, he drove for 9 different teams. And it was just more of a case of bad timing. Definitely not lack of talent. That's all I'm trying to say. Overall, he scored in 79 starts. He scored 1 win, or one pole, 0 wins, 10 top 5s, 38 top 10s, with the best points finish of 6th in 1979. In the number 72 Appliance Wheels DeWitt Racing car. Well, that's going to do it for us here for us here at NASCAR Underdogs. Thank you for watching. Take care.